This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, and we are welcoming you to Daily Flash. We got today's talk and tomorrow's trends. So glad to have you here. You're the most important part of our show.
Yeah, and we want you to be a part of the show,
Yeah.
and here is how you can do it. You can get in on the action. You can follow us everywhere. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Head to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We've got all the links on our website. Sound off. Email us at flash@dailyflashshow.com, and we just might read your message on the show.
And if you go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, you'll notice several buttons up there that say sound off. Press one of those, and actually what will happen is you can actually record a message, send to us. We can play it on the air. You need to follow the Daily Flash Nation right now. And of course, we like hearing from you. So our question of the day is, what small risk actually paid off for you? Something small in your life that you go, what?
Risk.
Yeah, this is the right decision that I made. A lot of people already sounding off, and we want to hear from you on social media, or as mentioned, you can drop us an email. We like hearing stories.
Oh, these are always good questions.
They are, certainly so.
That are hard to kind of answer off the cuff, because I really feel like I have to think
You
about
want
this
to
one.
you want to find the right one. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it does say something to like small decisions lead to bigger
Yes.
results and that sort of thing. Every small decision, and so. The only example I can give you is that they say if you make your bed in the morning, you're actually you're doing a task and you're doing something. So that's a small thing that might have actually paid off for you later on in the day.
Yeah, because I feel like it helps start your day. It organizes you. I always try and make the bed. It drives me nuts when I am not able to, because then I feel like it's a messy bed, messy mind.
Liza is an expert at just making up her side of the bed, right?
Is she really?
She could, and it looks pristine, and then mine, you're like, all right, I get it. I'll go make it. I mean, every once in a while she does that. She doesn't do it every single time.
Yeah.
But it does remind me, I'm like, yeah, I need to go in there. So, and she does it for me, so I do it.
Yeah, that's very nice. You're a big fan of The Simpsons.
Love Simpsons. You know, the longevity of the show is unbelievable. And you think about it, they never age, so it should be pretty simple.
I remember seeing those Simpson cartoons in the movie theaters. With Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
They were basically just interstitials, and they were
Yeah.
poorly drawn if you go look
yeah.
at them. But it is interesting
But
to
they
see
were
the
funny.
evolution of it.
And then
yeah.
I think back to those times, I'm like, I was watching that not knowing what sort of legend this show would leave, right? The showrunner for The Simpsons recently shed light on celebrating their 800th episode.
That's wow.
Matt Selman has been with The Simpsons since 1997. He started out as a writer before moving to exec producer in 2005 and showrunner. The Simpsons first premiered in 1989, making it the longest-running American sitcom, animated series, and primetime scripted series of all time here in the U.S. The 800th episode involves the family taking a trip to Philadelphia and includes their take on the HBO medical drama The Pit, featuring Noah Wyle, which I know you would love.
Yeah, which is in Pittsburgh, but so I like to see the correlation between those two.
Over the years, The Simpsons has seemed to predict future events such
That's
as
what's weird.
the Disney-Fox merger or the Trump presidency. Selman admits it is weird, joked that it sort of makes you think maybe we live in a simulation, but he calls it all just a coincidence. When asked how long The Simpsons might continue, he said 1,000 sounds like a good number, but admits that decision is way above his pay grade.
The voice actors, I remember at one time they were like, look, why is that all over the board? And I think they wound up getting equal pay pretty much and got raises as well. And you think about it, they're the ones that, I mean, the artistry, obviously, they can get computers to do it, but the voice work, is what's so important about that. I want to go back to the prediction stuff.
Yes.
Not only is it eerie that they just bring it up, but like I think of the President Trump, you can Google this, where he's going down an escalator. And Donald Trump doing the exact same thing, almost standing in the exact same thing. When Clint Eastwood was talking to that chair for the RNC, they had an episode where Grandpa was actually talking to a chair. And that's just two examples.
Yeah.
And is it life imitating art, or is it completely coincidental, or like will those things happen no matter what? It kind of makes you wonder. But the President Trump, the escalator one, blows my mind.
Yeah, and then we're showing some of the predictions here on the clips that we're using for this story, and it's like the tech collapse, the real estate collapse, all of those things, and it's like, well, are they just picking up on trends in news, and it just happens to kind of unfold that way. Our producer James is saying time travel.
Times travel. Well,
would you imagine? Could you imagine?
It's eerie, and again, those were just two small examples out of it all.
Yeah.
And then the guest host, I met Bruce Baum, who's a comedian. He got to be a character, like they were talking about comedians or whatever. And I go, what was that like? He goes, there's no bigger honor than to be, first off, be drawn. And the fact that I got to use my own voice and I got to be on there, and that's in history.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was on the show. Elizabeth Taylor was on this show as well. I believe the Michael Jackson one was, they didn't use his name, but they were in a institute, like a mental insane asylum or something like that. And then Maggie's voice was Elizabeth Taylor. She only said one word, I think it was mama. Pulled it out. And,
oh my God.
And the longevity of it. And really there's no stopping them because I think something that they're very good at, as well as South Park, is the turnaround time. They can get a really quick turnaround.
Yes.
So if something happens, they can get it on the air quickly.
And there's a great documentary about South Park and how they make, their episodes. I think it was on HBO. I remember watching it, but it was fascinating how, as you mentioned, they were able to take a trending news story and turn it around so quickly into a brand new episode. And I think of the two Harry and what's her name that moved to the U.S. from England.
Yeah.
And they did the worldwide media tour, privacy tour. We want privacy
the
kind
Prince,
of thing.
yes.
Yeah, that was Prince Harry and what's her name? What's her
Meghan
name? I'm sorry,
Markle.
Megan. There we
Is
go.
that her name?
Yeah.
I'm glad I forgot. Aren't you glad you
me
forgot?
too. I'm glad I forgot too. Like, I'm glad I'm not recalling their name instantly. So what I love too about The Simpsons is so many actors or so many celebrities will say, you've made it win. You become, either a character on The Simpsons or
made fun of.
or a punchline.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, it used to be SNL used to be the big tribute, but now I think The Simpsons and South Park are the two.
And as their days get numbered, it's going to be, more and more people are wanting to do that sort of thing.
It's hard to believe that this show could even come to an end.
Can you pick out a favorite episode? We would definitely love to hear from you. Flash@dailyflashshow.com. You can let us know favorite thing that you ever seen on The Simpsons. I love the crossover with them and Family Guy. And Family Guy comes straight out and says, yeah, we ripped you off. It's a family. We get it. They completely admit it. And that's something I appreciate. Yeah. We definitely would love to hear from you. Some other trending news stories happening around. Looks like parents, maybe they've got a little too much Bart and Homer involved in this. They were recently seen brawling at a youth basketball game in New York. Well, the violent courtside fight actually started during a 6th grade boys game at a Catholic school happening in Staten Island. These are moms too. Look at this. 2 moms got into it.
The hair pulling.
It's hair. That's what the girls always go for.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh,
Quickly
ouch.
boiled into some furious punches. Staff, other spectators tried to separate the 2 fighting moms. After several guys pulled the 2 women apart, guess what? Another fight broke out. And really, what are you teaching your kids when they see this? As you can see, she got up in her face,
She sure did.
the shorter one.
Yeah.
And you always go for the hair, and that Long Island hair too. Staten Island hair is a big deal, right?
I think her scrunchie fell out. Maybe that's what.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and somebody's phone is on the ground. I mean, and then after they separate the women, the guys get into it. It's sort of nutso.
Yeah.
Like, see, these guys are now throwing punches.
And you talk, this is a Catholic church, so I'm sure obviously it's not sanctioned by all means, and they probably came down tremendously. But you're really showing your kids, you're trying to show them, it is actually, it's happening more and more to where they'll ban you. You're not allowed to come to any kind of baseball game, basketball game. Yeah, they should be banned wholeheartedly. So it doesn't matter who started it or what it was over either.
Yeah, because, now the kids are the adults in this situation, and the adults are acting like children. It's ridiculous that, you know what, I blame reality TV for this kind of stuff, because it's like, there's cameras everywhere, and are they going for some sort of viral moment?
What I love, I don't know if it's the case, but maybe they're just kind of painting from a bigger picture, but whoever's running camera is, pretty good camera guy.
Right, really good camera work. I gotta tell you.
Staying in on the action.
Yeah.
To me, that looked like they were following it, which... Even still, it's sad to actually seeing that, and then the kids, if they know each other, which maybe not because it's different schools.
True.
Then the kids are like, your mom beat up my mom, or that could start something.
And then there's that whole thing. But yes, you're not setting a very good example for your kids.
Hate seeing stuff like that for sure, and we need to teach our kids to. Obviously, no matter what happened, I'm sure it probably had nothing to do with the game. That's the probably
not.
thing. Saying that's an ugly scrunchie.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
I don't like your sweatshirt.
I don't like your sweatshirt at all. All right, we got more Flash coming up. Everybody wants one. We are getting into the warmer days. How about getting that belly nice and flat? Well, we got a guest that's going to come in and tell us about the 10-day flat belly fix. It could happen.
Ooh,
coming
I like it. Also, we have got Tell Me Something Good about a lost leg. What happened to it?
We're not pulling it either. It's a real.
And if it was found, and how it was found, if it was found.
It'll make you feel good about life,
Yes,
all right? We got more Flash coming up. Stick around.
Welcome to Daily Flash. Our next guest is celebrity fitness and nutrition expert Obadike. He has co-authored a best-selling diet and exercise book, and it's called The Cut with actor Morris Chestnut. Now, almost 10 years later, he is doing it again with the 10-day flat belly fix. He joins us now with some health and fitness advice. Obi, welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Andrea. Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you. And of course, flat belly, you get everybody's attention. There's no question about that. You have 4 simple tips for us. And I like that they are simple because anyone can add these to their daily routine. Let's start with the first one. You say, which we all should do more of, eat more fruits and vegetables.
Eat more fruits and vegetables. You want to get at least 2 to 3 cups of fruits and vegetables daily. Why is that? Because of the fiber. Fiber is going to help to suppress your appetite. Also, fruits and vegetables is going to help to improve the health of your gut. It's going to create positive bacteria in your gut. That's going to help to improve your gut. And also, fruits and vegetables, it really is, the fiber is so essential for every American to get enough fiber, about 20 to 30 grams of fiber daily.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you more about the gut in just a moment, but I want to get through these other 3 points. Focus on protein. I don't know if a lot of people feel like protein's a bad thing, or we've kind of been sort of driven down that particular avenue, but you're saying protein is a good thing, and I've heard that so much lately.
Protein is a positive thing. Number one, it's going to when you get protein, when you're getting protein in your diet, it's going to help to maintain lean muscle mass. Muscle drives the rate of your metabolism. As we age, we atrophy. So protein is going to help to maintain our lean muscle mass. And the more lean muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism will be. Also with protein, when you get protein, people don't understand that it has the highest thermic effect, which means that 20 to 30% of your calories from protein is burned through the digestion process, all right? So imagine getting 100 calories of eating a protein and getting 100 calories of that, and 20 to 30% of it's gone through the highest thermic effect. So the net gain is only about 70 calories. So that's pretty cool.
I like your math.
It also will suppress your appetite too. It's going to help you become more fuller. And that's what we all want when we eat. Because we all overeat, unfortunately, in our society.
It's true. And speaking of feeling more full, drink water before every meal. I think this is a great point.
Yes, if you drink 1 cup of water before every meal, that will also help to make you eat less food. And that's important. And also, water is also going to improve the health of your kidneys and the health of your digestive system, and help to digest the food properly in your system. So water is a beautiful thing.
I love it. Lifting weights, and this is really important. I think a lot of women are worried about gaining bulk, even though they're gaining muscle when they're doing this. What's your take on lifting weights, and what advice can you give to people who may be a little bit hesitant?
Oh my God, I've debunked this so many times. Women, hear me out.
Yeah.
You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger because you don't produce enough testosterone like a man. Lifting weights is important, especially women who are approaching over the age of 50. They're hitting menopause, their estrogen levels drop, and now they're susceptible to bone fractures, they're susceptible to breaking bones and getting to osteoporosis stage. And lifting weights is going to help to strengthen your bone density. And it's going to help to maintain lean muscle mass. Lifting weights, the result of lifting weights is the fountain of youth. Muscle is so important as we age, and we atrophy. Our muscle atrophies as we age. So lifting weights is going to prevent the atrophy phase. All right. That's why you want to lift weights, ladies, especially when you're approaching menopause as well too, because you're susceptible to bone fractures, and lifting weights and strengthen the muscle is going to help to strengthen the bone density, get your bones stronger.
That is great perspective, and hopefully that's reached a number of our females in the audience. I want to get to this. Tell us about your search for a focus group and how people can participate and how they might be featured in your book.
Correct, right. So obviously we're doing a focus group on women only that want to lose weight, or they have any gut health issues or stomach issues. And so it's a free weight loss program that would be working with me 60 to 90 days via online. And I will be working with them, helping to transform them. And then the best transformations would be featured in the book and on the back cover of the book. And the book is scheduled to come out next year. So this book is it's really targeted for women, because gut health is an issue with women, and weight loss, of course, is as well too. So any woman that wants to lose weight, is struggling to lose weight, we'd love to have you as part of our focus group, and you'll be working with me, and I'll guide you and direct you and help you lose as much weight as possible in the shortest amount of time, the 10-day flat belly fix way.
I love it. And does it matter if you're looking to lose 10 pounds or 100 pounds, or are you looking for a specific?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Obviously, we're trying to help people that really want to lose a significant amount of weight, at least a minimum of 15 to 20 pounds, because the objective is to be able to create a significant transformation that would make people that would validate that the program works.
Before I let you go, I want to get to the gut question. If you could give advice, one piece of advice to everybody about gut health, what would it be?
What I would say is that the most important thing is try to minimize processed foods. Processed foods is really what creates gut health issues, and make fruits and vegetables one of your primary foods to eat regularly, because that will help to improve your gut health, and will help to also rid any bad bacteria in your gut. Fruits and vegetables, and try to minimize the processed foods, because that is really what creates a lot of bad bacteria in the gut and a lot of gut health issues potentially in the future.
Obadike.com is the website. We'll post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
From the biggest pop culture moments to the stories you'll be sending to the group chat, El Flash Latino brings the energy, the attitude, and the saber every single time.
Saludos a todos, yo soy Gisela Bouvier.
Y yo soy Fabián Marcano, y le damos la bienvenida a El Flash Latino.
With Fabian and Gisela serving up laughs, hot takes, and pure personality, you never know what they'll say next in whichever language comes out first.
Pero we're in Spanish. Yo soy Isis. There, from
Jump into the show that celebrates culture, comedy, and all things Spanglish. El Flash Latino.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. We got some trending stories here to share with you. It looks like actress Jennifer Esposito, she's revealed that she was actually forced to move from her home she mortgaged to get her movie Fresh Kills all across the finish line. The 52-year-old revealed that she took out a mortgage on her property back in 2024 after she spent 15 years trying to get the movie made. Esposito confessed in a recent Instagram post that she is suffering the consequences after putting her home on the line for her passion project. Sad to see that. I think investors will tell you, never invest your own money. You get investors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but
Yeah.
nobody else believes in it, which she said she did. Then, and that was the risk that she took, and it's unfortunate
Yeah,
she
and
lost her
this
home.
was a project that she wrote, directed, and starred in. So really, it was all on her, and it's a huge risk to take. To put your mortgage your home for
scary,
something like that.
right?
It's very scary. The thing that bothers me, and I don't know if this is her case, is when they start asking you for money and start a GoFundMe, a campaign to help save her home.
There's new angel films. That's
Yes.
getting more and more popular, where people are donating money to studios to actually make good
the movie.
money. Yeah.
And that seems like that might have been a better way for her to go, or to do a GoFundMe to help her make the movie. But now,
Beforehand, yeah.
yeah, beforehand. And again, I don't know if this is the case in her situation, if she's asking for help and for people to contribute to a GoFundMe campaign to help save her home. But I think it's really hard when you see celebrities take to GoFundMe and ask for financial help, because you're living this beautifully privileged life and you can't manage your money,
Right.
and you're making millions and millions of dollars, compared to the rest of us. So how am I supposed to feel bad for you and contribute to a GoFundMe campaign? I don't know.
I think when you look at businesses, let's say you wanted to start a restaurant.
Yeah.
Let's say, would people give you money? Okay, well, I'll give you money. They're going to start this restaurant. And that's what a movie is a business. I mean, we look at it as art by all means, which there had been. I had not heard of it as much as of late, but I remember there was a time where people would go, you give us money, we'll put you as a producer. Or you get to be an extra on, on the thing. And, you know, that's a creative way to bring people in, but it also kind of, well, you're whoring out your program of what you're going to do. Is it going to stay to the integrity of what you want? And usually that's not the case when you get so many people that want to roll and they just bought their role to get there.
It's a gamble. You know, there are so many movies that come out every year that nobody ever hears about, and there are just a handful that actually make headlines, that make a lot of money. So, you know, it is a big risk, you know, and you've got to take a risk if you want it to pay off. It might not. It might completely fail.
And the other way around, you could put no money into something and it makes all kinds of money.
That's the thing that's crazy. Muhammad Ali once joked that he should be a postage stamp because that's the only way he would ever get licked. Well, now the three-time heavyweight champ's joke is becoming a reality.
Oh, cool.
Ali being honored with a commemorative U.S. postage stamp. Ali died in 2016 at the age of 74 after living with Parkinson's disease for more than 3 decades. His family says having his face on a stamp is a chance to highlight his mission of spreading compassion and connecting with all types of people.
No matter where you think or where your stance is on him, he's an incredible athlete and incredible story altogether, and very controversial as well. But I think most people in history have some kind of controversy attached to them. We have to remember that as well. Speaking of fighters, the gloves are now off when it comes to Floyd Mayweather's former landlords, believe it or not. This happened, and it actually has the boxing legend now being sued for more than $330,000 in unpaid rent and damages. Mayweather rented a luxury duplex back in 2024. The landlords claim, that's something you never hear, luxury duplex. The landlord, right? Like you can have your neighbor on a wall, but it's luxury. The landlords claim that he stopped paying his $100,000 per month rent back in the middle of 2025.
Oh my goodness.
Also, it also claims that Mayweather fell behind on his 6-figure rent in July. That racked up more than $515,000 in payments owed. According to court documents, Mayweather owes about $340,000 in interest and attorney's fees as well.
Wow.
This is a guy that has had way too much money. Like you would hear about him spending money left and right. He probably, and you have a money guy for that. I'm not going to say he doesn't know about it, but you have somebody that's supposed to pay things. If there's some kind of disagreement, that's just going to make you look bad. It doesn't make your money man look bad, right?
In your wildest dreams, even if you had the money, would you spend $100,000 a month on rent? I just,
Isn't that weird?
Unfathomable to me that somebody would spend that kind of money on rent.
On rent, you think that's how much a modern home, I mean a luxury home in some cities as well.
Put a down payment on a condo, and then at least you've got a real estate investment.
I think the only way that they get around that is that maybe if they get it, they can call that a rent tax write-off, where maybe either loss or if it's a business, meaning that's where the business. So maybe that's why. I don't know, but he's got plenty of money. That doesn't seem like a whole lot that he needs to go ahead and pay. That's 3 months rent he hasn't paid.
When you see Floyd Mayweather start a GoFundMe account, that's when we have problems.
No GoFundMe here. We have got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends still to come.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English. Thank you so much for joining us. This show is called Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
But before we do anything, we want to give our stations across the nation a big shout out. Who's watching us out there and where?
And of course, you know Daily Flash seen all over the world. Our streamers and also on YouTube, of course. On the American Forces Network. We're also on 219 great TV stations all over the country and beyond. And today, our local friends are WRDE in Salisbury, Maryland. Now, a famous food comes from there.
Salisbury steak?
You would think so, but it's actually the clean chicken capital of the world at the Delmarva Peninsula. They're basically their top producing broiled chicken producers in the region. So broiled chicken, you could think Salisbury. Man, you would think Salisbury steak, right?
Immediately.
Which, by the way, Hernando County School Systems produces the best
Salisbury.
Salisbury steak in the world. I would drive there right now, go back to my high school if it was the same
What
recipe.
is Salisbury steak?
I think it's along the same lines of the McRib, I guess, because it looks similar to it.
Right.
You know, we
Is
need
it
to Google
steak?
it. I don't think it's steak.
I don't think it is
I
either.
think it's the leftover stuff, and they compress it into
then
it.
put a
just
sauce
like,
on
and
it.
Put it was a little light breading, the way at least they made it in school. But it was so good with gravy and everything.
Yeah.
It's a blend of chicken, pork, and ground beef. Is Salisbury steak. So I bet you maybe it did come from there, from Salisbury, Maryland.
Yeah.
That's a good. Let's Google that.
Chicken, pork, and beef.
Will should know
combined.
this.
Breaded and then
he does
sauced.
not know, so we need to get some deep diving into all
We're
this.
going to do a whole new franchise, Wise Words of Will.
Wise words of Will,
Yeah.
because if there's a will, then
There's a way.
There's a way. Tell me what you think about this, Will, and everybody at home. Let's say you've worked somewhere for quite some time,
Yeah.
a veteran employee, and you get into work one day and they go, hey, look, there's the new position opened and you apply for it. And you're like, well, look, I've been at this company for so long.
Yeah.
I'd really like to try something new. But then you find out that your boss hired somebody much younger than you, and they're going to have the job. I would imagine there's a little bit of
Resentment?
animosity, resentment. But then they go one extra and say, you're going to need to train her as well. This happened to a lady, of course, and it happens all the time. I mean, this is one particular story. She actually said, no, I'm not doing it. And she said that if he was qualified to leapfrog her over this girl, then he should be qualified enough to train her. And I kind of wonder, so do you agree or disagree with that?
I think it's always so awkward when you're being replaced by someone and then told that you have to train them for your job, as if what you were doing was so good that you're training the next person to take your job. So why can't you keep that job? I can understand if you're leaving the company, that's a whole different scenario. But if you're being replaced by someone
right.
and then you're told you have to train them, I think that's outlandish.
And if you, your mindset the whole time is like, oh no, your position's fine. Let me tell you something.
It's
It
not.
never is.
It's
If
not.
they say that, that's the
kiss of
red
death.
flag. And it also might say something to this woman who has actually had worked at this company for quite some time, to say, you know what, maybe this is your time. You need to get out. You're not going to get that advancement, or this boss is just going to be holding you back. And
Yeah.
it happens a lot of
Yeah.
times. Management asked them to train this new girl, and basically people all over are saying, well, you know, I mean, that's her job. She knew that that's what she would have to do. She'd have to train people. But then the other people are like you and I that believe, no, why would I want to train my replacement? And if I did train you, I ain't going to do a good job, would you?
I wouldn't think so.
No.
I don't think I'd want to.
I'm
just
being
out of-
honest right now.
Out of spite. I hate to say that, but
And is it fair to that new employee too, right? Because it's like, man, you know,
because they're coming in, sort of walking in,
not
thinking,
their
"Hey,
fault.
I've got this job." Not her fault, but the company that hired her to replace this woman is basically saying, "Well, we're pushing her out the door. We're bringing you on, but we're going to have her trained." I think it's really messed
a lot
up.
of it, loyalty, ageism, lots
Yeah.
of those things all involved in that. So office politics for sure. We got more coming up. The Scene with Doreen, she's talking to a funny comedian. And of course, we got Tell Me Something Good. Good stuff coming up.
You don't want to miss that one. It's good today.
You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
February is American Heart Month, and today on The Scene with Doreen, I welcome comedian Drew Lynch. You may remember him from America's Got Talent, but today he also has a very important message to share. Check it out.
And I'm telling you, I haven't been moved by an act like this up until this moment. And because of you, and because of this moment, I want to do something very special. Something I haven't had a chance to do, and I'd like to do this.
When he pushed that button, what did you feel?
I grew up as a kid watching America's Got Talent with my family, and I mean, they had never had something like what that was, which is that was the first one, the first golden buzzer thing, I guess.
Ever? You were the
sort of
first?
ever. Now it's like, you know, I mean, it's. I guess maybe it's insignificant, but at that time, it was so significant because I don't think anybody knew what it was or what it meant. Confetti just starts coming down from the sky. And I had no idea that it was, like, no one knew what a golden buzzer was, and no one knew that it meant confetti would come down, and no one knew that it was confetti, especially me. I thought it was cash, Doreen. I thought that he hit this thing on his desk, and I was like, I just won the whole show. I did a minute of comedy, and I was that good that I won $1 million. And now I have to go pick it up all off the ground.
When I was 20, I got hit in the throat with a softball, and I'd fallen and hit my head, from which I had a concussion that I went to sleep on. And the next day I woke up, I was stuttering.
So you're a young boy pursuing your dream of acting, and one fateful day, everything changed.
I was playing on a softball rec league that I had with the comedy club that I worked at. So I never wanted to do stand-up. I went to go field a grounder, and it had popped up and hit me in the throat, and I had fallen and hit my head on the ground. And I guess I didn't know how hard I didn't know how hard the impact of that would really have an effect. I didn't know that it would have the effect that it had. My roommate noticed that I was talking really, really slowly, and it was disjointed, and it was staccato, and I was disoriented, and he brought me to the hospital, and they diagnosed me with a concussion and just a small, like, vocal contusion, and they said that it was gonna get better soon, and a couple weeks went by, and then it became some months, and then it became years. And so in that time of me just kind of like waiting to figure out like why, what my life was going to look like, every door was just kind of closing right in front of me. So when some comics had said, to go on stage, start talking about what had happened, that was when I felt like I could start taking control of my life again.
We begin with nail-biting video. A man at a comedy club has a heart attack right in the middle of a show.
Oh, hey, everything okay?
I think it's so important to share Mr. Wendy's story because February is American Heart Month, and it is really important to reiterate to know CPR.
There were so many nurses and RNs and first responders in the crowd, and he was dead for over 5 minutes, and they, through CPR, revived him. I got to see him before he passed away, and I think about him often.
I just told a joke, and you just hated it.
What do audiences expect from this new tour?
Oh, it's all new material. I always want audiences to feel like they're getting something fresh. I always try to do something different, so that way when you leave, you're like, that show will only ever be unique to what just happened.
I want everyone to visit drewlynch.com for more info. Check out upcoming tour dates across the country on his 2026 tour, and just stay connected to everything that is the wonderful Drew Lynch. And if you want to hear more of our inspirational conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Soccer matches on the international stage have taken over America, and one of the most popular mobile games in the world is showing how winning has never been more in, well, players' hands. It has teamed up with some legends of the game, and unlike regular soccer players, their hands were very, very involved.
So, tell us about your biggest career moment.
When three soccer legends helped Clash of Clans mark the return of global chat, it all seemed normal until the camera revealed their hands.
But it's not true.
After battling my way through the finals in 2014, my feet had nothing left to prove. Oh, excuse me?
Thierry Henry, Kaká, and Bastian Schweinsteiger joined Supercell to tap into the spirit of a league competition.
Be the game, become the game.
I call it Fingerspitzengefühl.
Finger what?
It's all about the mindset.
The campaign even includes a soccer-themed in-game event where players take part in a special clan war league.
I don't think so. Nothing can beat me. Building an army takes focus.
Be sure to follow Clash of Clans on social media for the latest updates.
No chance, Kaká.
All right. Thank you.
More homeowners are looking to make better use of their outdoor living spaces beyond the summer months. Here's what you should know about creating a backyard designed for year-round comfort.
Outdoor living spaces are becoming the new gathering spot of the home, with more homeowners focused on making the most of their patios and backyards. Yet many of those spaces see less use once temperatures begin to drop. Here's designer Josh Collins from J. Collins Interiors and Home Furnishings.
Outdoor spaces should feel just as inviting and well-designed as the inside of the home. That starts with usability, flow, and atmosphere, using elements like lighting, seating, and shade to shape the experience. Heating especially can help extend the use of porches, poolside areas, and outdoor dining year-round.
A recent survey found 92% of homeowners would spend more time outside if their outdoor areas stayed comfortable for cooler temperatures.
Small updates can completely change how an outdoor space is used. Adding elements like overhead heating, ambient lighting, or defined gathering areas can turn a seasonal patio into a space that's ready for entertaining throughout the year.
Learn more at bromic.com. That's BROMIC.com.
All right, listen, you have method acting, right? You have that. And then there's David Howell. He's an Australian actor who was so amazing when he auditioned for the role of a bank robber in a television series that his neighbors actually thought he was a real criminal. So they called the cops. Production crew forced to convince police that Howell was an actor when they rolled up. Of course, they had their lights and their sirens on when they came to the Sydney studio as well. So good for him. That would be something nice at least to have on your resume, that you really thought, well, I convinced the cops. It happens.
Could you imagine, when you get recognized on the street and instead of like, I know you're from somewhere, to someone calling the cops saying, there's a robber on the street, I want to turn the guy in.
I don't know what he did, but he's running and he looks guilty.
He does.
For sure.
A thief tried to ditch cops by diving into the ocean, but the escape plan sunk when he had nowhere to paddle. The cringy caught on video getaway came after cops tried to pull him over for a traffic violation. Sped off in a stolen car right onto the Pacific Coast Highway. Police used a spike strip to disable the stolen car's tires, then used a pit maneuver to stop it. But the chase didn't end there. The suspect tried to make a run for it, but he had nowhere to go, ended up in the water, finally put his hands up.
Nothing's wrong with your TV, folks. That's is infrared cameras or heat sensing cameras, or one or the other. So not a lot of ghosts running around there. Here's the thing. If you're running from cops, already you might as well go the whole distance, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what everybody thinks when you're being chased by cops. Well, I might as well. I mean, I'm already in trouble.
Yeah.
I could get away possibly. But you never hear about, well, the guy got away. You never see that, especially when it comes to helicopters. I never see it. It seems like they always catch them, no matter what. I do know that police officers realize if it's an unsafe chase that they'll call it off.
Yeah.
That's probably when it happens.
Well, and I don't know if people understand, or maybe they do, or they just get caught up in the moment, but the level of technology that police have nowadays, they're able to figure out who you are, whether your car's stolen, whether the license plates are real. And they know more about you by the time they spike strip your car than you could ever imagine.
There's technology as well where they can have microphones into the vehicle. They can hear inside the vehicle, so they can hear what they're saying inside of it in a police chase as well. So, like if you hear them saying, hey, hide this, then they know that there's something possibly that's being contraband.
They've also got technology where they can shoot a tracking device onto the car so they don't have to engage in a police chase, and that way they know exactly where you're headed.
Got a GPS
and
thing.
They can just dial it up and find out where you are.
And turn it off. I've seen those where it's like a magnetic pulse or whatever. They shoot on the car and it just shuts the car down. But that could still be dangerous, so I can imagine why they wouldn't use that. All right, are you a big fan of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Well, if you are, Nene Leakes, she's back.
Okay.
She's making her long-awaited return to Bravo. However, in the next installment of The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. This is what she's looking like. If you want to see what she looks like nowadays, fans might remember her when she quit the franchise back in 2020. In April 2022, she filed a bombshell lawsuit against the cable channel Bravo, as well as host Andy Campbell and all associated companies. Cohen. Andy Campbell's one of my friends, isn't he? Andy Cohen. Thank you for catching
Andy
that.
Cohen.
Her lawsuit, I would have gone on thinking I said that.
Yeah.
Her lawsuit included accusations of racism and inappropriate behavior. The racism thing, and then they're like, well, and then you go back. So how bad was it? If it was it really racism, or was it all of these bad things that you're saying? If you came back to it to take another round of it,
Right, because it almost makes it look like she was looking for a quick payout.
sounds like she did. She left to become an actress and on a TV show on Fox, and it didn't work out the first time she left The Real Housewives.
Okay.
We have got more coming up. You do not want to miss out on Tell Me Something Good. We got a great story for you.
Yeah, a lost leg. We'll tell you all about it when we return.
It's awesome.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Hold on, wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
So, Matty of Birkenshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat! It's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the media.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online. This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites, and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. We always want to leave you on a high note, so that's why we want to tell you something good.
Okay, so picture this. It's a beautiful day at the beach in England last April.
Okay.
69-year-old Brenda Ogden walking along the shoreline, enjoying the water, feeling free, but then a strong wave comes crashing in.
Oh, indeed, and it knocks her off balance, and just in seconds, her prosthetic leg swept out to sea.
Oh,
it happened.
My goodness. Well, this was a big deal because this was a custom titanium blade-style leg she'd waited more than a year to get. She'd only had it for about a week, and it gave her the confidence to walk on sand and move through water again.
And search teams wanted to get involved, and boy, they looked, and friends looked. People checked the shoreline for days, but after a while, everyone thought, well, that leg, it's gone for good.
Fast forward 10 months later. 10 months later, a woman is walking along a different part of the coast, about 14 miles away, when she spots something stuck between the rocks. Yep, you guessed it. It was Brenda's leg. A little weathered, salty, but still intact. When Brenda got the call, she said she was over the moon after nearly a year of thinking she'd lost her expensive new freedom.
And this is the best part. I love this. She said it felt like the sea was giving her a gift back.
Aww.
Sometimes, you actually think about it, we think things are lost forever. All it does is just need time to find their way home. So keep that in mind.
That's right. And if that doesn't make you smile, I mean, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something good.
We love leaving you with those stories. And if you have a great one, we definitely want to share it with the world. Why don't you drop us an email at flash@dailyflashshow.com. You can even send an article to us of maybe something that inspired you that somebody had done.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to hear from you.
Certainly.
I mean, it's one of those things where we like to end on a good note, and that's a great note to end on. Something positive, something feel good.
That's what we're about here at Daily Flash. And if you want to check us out anytime, anywhere you're at, got internet access to, check out our website. It's dailyflashshow.com.
Even if you have rabbit ears, I bet you could find us.
You probably could
somehow,
find us.
some way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere
That does
along.
it for us. Be good, everybody.
Y'all take care. We'll see you when we look at you. Bye-bye.